in an area that you like, and then try to save you time and money when you start looking, so you don't go and look at 150 houses, you know.
Right.
And then the great things about when you get your pre-approval also, you know how much you qualify for. So you will be able, when you start looking for a house with your realtor, you already know what you could afford. Don't go look at houses before pre-approval. That's a waste of time. Okay. Then after you finish looking for a house, you do what you do, you put your offer in, right? So your realtor is there to negotiate everything, get you the maximum, the best term for the lesser price. And then once again, you will put down what we call earnest money, which is 1% of the price of the house, to show the seller, hey, I'm serious, and we're going to put this money on escrow at the title company. That money will be used towards your closing cost.
Okay.
Okay. After that, you give your option fee money. Usually in practice is about $100 to $200 to tell the seller, hey, you know what? I'm very serious about buying your house. I'm giving you earnest money, but this is my option to be able to do an inspection. And if I do not like what I see during the inspection, I'm going to walk away from your house, but you keep $100 and $200 and I have my earnest money back.
Okay. People like to know they can get money back.
Yes, yes. And then the usually it's about 7 to 10 days. And then you can do as many inspections that you want. It's good to start with a general inspector who's going to redirect you. If you realize that, oh, maybe the foundation has problem, you can call a foundation company. If they say, hey, maybe the plumbing has some issue, you call a plumber to come and check on that. The roof has some problem, then they go ahead and contact a roofer for you. So that's good. You can do as many inspections that you want during that time. And it's also a good time to renegotiate, right? So if you know you offer a full price, for example, for the house, this is what's been happening a lot lately, right? Because we are in the seller's market. So there is not a lot of sellers and there's tons of buyers. And then you realize that the house needs too many repair, but you still want the house, right? That's the time to tell the seller, hey, could you give me some money towards my closing costs? Could you reduce the price, or could you pay the repair? And if you don't agree or nobody agree, you can walk away with no issue.
So are those what we would call seller's concessions? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Then the next step, after you make the offer is accepted, then you go ahead and make sure you secure your finances. So the lender go ahead and then order what we call the appraisal. The appraisal, the point of it is the lender will never lend you more money than what the house worth. That's a good protection for the buyer, right? So you're not paying for a house. And then they're gonna check that. And if, for example, the appraiser come back lower, let's say we have a $200,000 home, the buyer is very excited. The appraiser come back at $190,000, so we have $10,000 off, right? So either the seller has to reduce his price to meet the $190,000, or the buyer has to put more money out of his own pocket to get to $200,000, or everybody can meet in the middle, or buyer can walk away from it. Okay, if your realtor has negotiated your contract right, you should be able to walk away from the house because of the appraisal and not have to worry about it. Okay. And also that's where you confirm your interest rate, you lock your interest rate with your lender. That's the time for that also. That's also the time when you need to shop for home insurance, right? So home insurance can make a difference in your monthly payment. Some insurance are more expensive than others, so you have to shop around. For insurance, go ahead and contact as many. Make sure you have, everything you need to cover it. Because the reason why you need PMI, the mortgage insurance pretty much, is because if, for example, you purchase the home and you don't put 20% down, then you have to put an insurance for that. So let's say, for example, when you reach your 20% on the house, on the conventional loan, you do not have that insurance anymore. But on FHA, it's for the entire time of the loan. That you will have PMI.
Okay, I've seen this before, sitting down with clients where they have PMI, and some after 20% were able to say, hey, call them and get the PMI taken off. And then some said, hey, they said that we still have to pay PMI, and you don't know the difference between the two. So conventional loan, PMI is for the life of the loan.
No, For FHA is for the life of the loan.
Okay.
Conventional is until 20%.
Until 20% is met.
And then your monthly payment will drop. It could be insurance on a monthly basis can go between $100 to $300 extra a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you
That's
don't
good to know.
if you do not have 20% down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The lender will also during that time verify your income. So when you're under contract, do not go and change your job.
Okay.
Unless if it's in the same field. Let's say you're a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're moving on up. You move from one hospital, Memorial Hermann to Methodist, and you're still a nurse, and the income goes up. Do not go down. Goes up. That's okay. But if you are a nurse and all of a sudden you decide to become an engineer, even if you make more money as an engineer, that could be a red flag for the lender. Because you're brand new in the field. You may not have this job for a long time. So there is a lot of things like that. So do not change your job. Don't go and buy a car when you're under contract. That's a big mistake. That will affect your credit. The minute your credit drop too much, even if a little bit, the lender will see it because they will pull your credit even the day of closing or the day before closing. So they're gonna check on you, okay? They wanna make sure you're still good. So don't go and buy furniture. I had clients that did that in the past. They decided to go buy furniture for the new house. No. Because the lender pulled their credit again. They realized that, oh, you have a new line of credit. Thanks God. These people had a very good credit score and very good income. But it did affected it.
Right.
So we did not close the day we had in the contract. We had to push it for a few more days, you know.
So what the lender's looking at is they're looking at what, debt to income? Is that what's happening, or?
They're looking at the debt to income ratio. Yep.
Okay.
And if you can still afford the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to make sure when you add the house, a certain percentage of your income, they want to make sure you will be able to pay no matter what.
Right.
Okay. So depending if it's FHA or conventional, they will want your debt to income ratio to be at 45% or 50%, depending if it's conventional of FHA. Everybody has different cases, but you want to make sure for that number to be low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure for your credit card to be less than 30% of what you're using. So if you have $1,000, use no more than $300. It's better for you to have 2 or 3 different credit card and have them at 30% each than to have one credit card and you max it out.
Right.
Okay. And then and also it's good your debt to income your income towards your debt to be less than 15%.
Okay.
Okay, so then the lender will look at all of that and double check and verify all that. He'll verify your income again, verify your job again. They're gonna pull everything again at the last minute, and they will give you what we call the clear to close. So that's my favorite word in the world. that means we're going to the table, we're closing, and then on closing day, seller and buyer will come at the title company. They will sign the document, and then the lender will verify everybody signed as they're supposed to, give the clear to close, give the funding where that we funded, and then when's it happening, and all the document inside, then you can have your key and you can move into your new home.
Yay!
That's the last step. So that day, you make sure your ID is valid. Don't come with an expired ID. You won't be able to sign your paperwork. So please, if you have your driver license, make sure it's current. If you are a foreigner and you have your green card, make sure your green card is still in process. Don't be doing that at the last minute. You have to prepare for it.
So question on that. So if maybe let's say a person doesn't necessarily have their green card yet, they do have their workers authorization. How does that work? Are they able to still purchase home with workers authorization, or does it have to be green card at that point?
Well, based on my experience, it's usually green card or citizen.
Okay.
If you are a foreigner, you will have some product that will be available for you, but you will not be able to benefit from the 5% down or the 3% down. They're probably going to ask you for more down payment. If you are if you do not have paper and you still want to buy a house, some lender will lend you the money, but they're probably going to ask you 20 to 35%.
Wow. So the percentage just shoots up at that point.
Yeah, because you're higher risk for them, right? It's not guaranteed you're going to be in America. And if you disappear, how are they going to find you, right? Because at the end of the day, they're in the business of lending, but they want to make money. They make money as long as you keep paying your loan.
Right.
That's how the banks make money. So if you're higher risk, they will charge you more money for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. This is some great information. Thieves, you got some questions for Danielle?
Some awesome questions. One of the things I appreciate, these are awesome tips that you're giving us about purchasing a home and I think, let me ask you this. How do you know when is the best time to purchase? I know you had mentioned that right now we're in a buyer's market. Because there's, so how do people determine, when is the best time to buy? What would you say when it comes to that decision?
I think every time is the best time to buy. The best time to buy is your personal situation. If you live in a place right now, we're all stuck in a house because of COVID, and you live in tiny, tiny little apartment, and you do have children, there is no space anywhere. They have to do their homework somewhere, and you still have to work, and you realize there's no way, right? That's a good time for you to.
That's a good time to buy. Yes, you're trying to do your meetings, and the baby's just like there.
If you have a bigger house and you have more space, and maybe you have a pool in your backyard, you don't have to worry about going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people like to buy houses during the summer. So the higher selling time is between March and August. People need to be in the house before school start, right? Because they want to make sure they settle down and the kids are where they need to be so they can start their new life. But also, if you know that's not super important because you don't have kids or your children are very little, it's better, I believe, to buy a house after. Just my little tip. If schools is not a priority for you, I will advise you after, because what? Everybody is rushing during the summer. Everybody is buying. Seller will sell the house at a higher price because multiple offers. But when everybody's in the house, there's less buyer. It's still a lot of buyer, but a little bit less than the summer. Well, you have more room for negotiation if you are a buyer, if you're not in a rush. As for a new construction home, you can either buy the house and build it from scratch, pick the lot, which is fun to do, pick all the finishes in the house, which is fun to do. But if it's not a priority for you, I will advise you just buy an inventory home from a builder. What's an inventory home? It's a home that the builder has built, but it's still gonna have a buyer for it yet, and the house is sitting on the market, right? So when the house is sitting on the market, the builder has a mortgage to pay on it. Right? What's going to happen? They want to move it fast. If they want to move it fast and you come around, you have more room for negotiation. I just negotiated one of my clients over $38,000 off his new construction home.
Wow.
Because on an inventory home.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. That's good. You said 38,000.
38,000.
That is a big
discount.
That is a bit, yeah. But also I was able to do it because I have a relationship with this builder. That's why some people say, oh, when you buy a house, a new construction, you don't need a realtor. No. The realtor, if you know the area, if you know the builder, and he has a relationship, can get you a better deal than if you come by yourself. If you go by yourself, you may have $10,000 off. But if you have a realtor who knows what he's doing, you can have $20,000 to $30,000 off.
Yes, we believe in seeking wise counsel and always having an expert in the field to help you, because basically people normally, as we do life, we say we're kind of winging it, right? You do what maybe your parents did, you kind of listen to what you do, and we know that what they may have done might not be best for us. So obviously you want to have an expert like yourself in the field. So I have a fun question for you, because obviously we're going to be talking about life insurance tonight. And how does having life insurance help a person with a home? I know I've had clients where I've helped them with investments, and because they were able to build investments over time, they were able to show liquid assets, and that helped them get the home. But does a person having life insurance show as not necessarily collateral, but show as, hey, if anything were to happen, this family could still afford to stay in this home? Does that work in any way in real estate?
Not in that way.